Hello my YouTube friends! Today's video is sponsored by Owned, but I'll tell you more about that later. Today I want to show you a super easy trick that you can use to show and hide elements on your screen at any set interval. Kind of like what you see right here happening over my head. This can give your live stream a much more professional look and feel, and it's really easy to do and totally free. So let's get to it! Likes and comments are super easy things that you can do to help push this video to a wider audience. So take a second down below and let me know how I'm doing. And while you're there, if you're not, please subscribe. This really does help me continue to make content that helps you. So thanks. First, we need to create the asset that does the animation in OBS. For this, we're going to use DaVinci Resolve. It's a totally free editing software anyone can download. There's a link in the description so you can grab it and check it out for yourself. So you should just pause here, install it, and then you can follow along. That is the best way to learn. Okay, now let's get to the animation. Here we are in a new project in DaVinci Resolve, and the first thing we want to do is go to File, and then we want to go to Project Settings, and we just want to change this to the frame rate for our live stream and make sure the resolution is proper, and click Save. Next, we want to go over to the Edit page, and we're going to right click on the No Clips Media Pool, and we're going to select New Fusion Composition. Here we can give our Fusion Composition a name, and I just want to set it to 30 seconds. That's how long I want the clip to be. Then I click Create, and I'm going to just drag this Fusion clip down into our timeline, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on this Fusion tab right here, and we'll move the media source over here. And I'm just gonna drag in a background and connect it to our media out. And I'm going to change the color of our background all the way up to green. Very simple stuff. And I wanna make sure my playhead is all the way at the very beginning. And I'm gonna go ahead and scale this to 25%. And I'm gonna make sure my background is selected. And then I'm going to click this transform button here, which adds a transform to our project. Then in the inspector on the right, I'm gonna go over here where it says center. We're going to go to the Y-axis, and I'm just going to adjust our green box till it's off the screen. And I wanna make sure that my playhead is at the very beginning, and I'm gonna click this little dot here to make it red. Then I'm gonna move my playhead to about the middle of the composition. And I'm just gonna click that dot again to create a keyframe there. Then I'm gonna move my playhead about 60 frames. And I'm gonna go ahead and adjust our green box until it's on the screen. I can just type 0.5 in here, and there we go. So now over those 60 frames, it's going to bring our green box in. Now I'm gonna go about 40 frames from the end. I'm going to create another keyframe. Then I'm gonna move to the final frame, and I'm gonna move our box off the frame again. And you can do this by just typing -0.5. So now we have our animation bringing our box in and out. We just wanna make this animation a little more dynamic. So we're gonna go up here and click the spline button. We're going to select this to turn it on, and then we can click this button so we can see everything. And then we're just going to adjust these to make our animation a little more interesting. We want to add kind of an S curve. So you just click the points and you drag this little nubby around, and we'll expand it out so it makes it a little bit easier to see. And we can shrink this one down and make this one a little longer. And adding this S curve means it's going to start out very slow in the animation, speed up in the middle, and then slow down again at the end. And it just makes our animations a little more dynamic. Now we're going to move our playhead all the way to the end, and we're going to add the same sort of dynamics to the other side. So I'll click this one and we'll drag this down, and we'll click the top one and we'll drag this up and create our little S curve. And you can just drag the playhead and click play so that you can see the animation as it goes. And we'll move our playhead all the way to the end again. And I want to make this a little bit more dramatic. So we just extend these little ends right here. Adds a little bit more of an S curve. And there we go. I think that's what we want. So now we can see that if we play the whole thing, we get the green screen on there for about half of our 30 seconds. So I'm gonna select deliver, and I'm gonna put in the name of our file, and then I'm gonna browse to the location where I want our file to be saved. Then I'm gonna make sure our format is QuickTime. I'm gonna select uncompressed as the codec, and we are going to select BGRA 8-bit as the type. Then we wanna make sure our resolution is proper and our frame rate is proper for what we want. Then we wanna make sure that we click the export alpha button and add it to the render queue, and then go ahead and click render, and it takes about 30 seconds. This renders very quickly. Then we're going to go into Shutter Encoder. There's a link to this in the description as well. It is a free tool that you can use to make these files into WebM format, which is much smaller and easier for your computer to handle. And we're just going to move this over here, and we're going to drag the file that we just created in here. Then we're going to go right here to our functions. We're going to drop this down and select VP9. And then over in advanced features, we're going to select enable alpha channel. Now we just need to click start function. And when this is finished, you can obviously see how much smaller our WebM file is than our regular file. Now we're ready to add this to our OBS scenes. In OBS, I have a nested scene created called NS Hide, and that's where we're going to put all this together. You can see in that nested scene, I have an overlay with some stuff, and that stuff is labeled. So what I'm going to do is click on the plus under sources, and I'm going to add a media source, and I'm just going to call this media source hide 1 and click OK. And then I'm just going to grab that green screen piece we created and click open, and I want to loop that and then click OK. And I'm just going to move this to where the green screen covers the entire screen and pause it right there. And I'm going to select it and use the shift key and just shrink it up so it encompasses that first one of these little windows here. Now I'm holding the shift key to do this, and that truncates it, and that's going to give us a really cool dramatic effect when it starts and stops. And I just want to cover up the entire piece. And then I'm going to use the arrow keys and just adjust it with that shift key. And now I have that entirely covered. So I'm going to right click on our scene and go to filters. And I'm just going to add a chroma to this. And we don't really need to adjust it. And you can see when I add the chroma, it turns it off, which is perfect. So now if I move it around or click play, we can see it hiding in a really nice fashion there. And that's what we're looking for. Now, all we really need to do is add 3 more of these, one for each of our boxes. So I'm going to click the plus and go to media source, and I'm going to add hide 2, add that exact same media source and click open and loop it and click OK. And since we already turned on the chroma key, it's going to be active, but I can slide this down and show that it blacks out the entire screen when the green is totally on. So I'll just click pause right here and use the shift key once again and just adjust all the edges so it covers up that second piece right there. Use the arrow key to move it down a little bit, and perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on our hide 2 and go to filters, and I'm going to click the plus, and I'm going to go to render delay and click OK. And then I'm going to add 200 milliseconds of render delay and then click close. Now I'm going to go ahead and click the plus, and we're going to add another media source. This one's going to be called hide 3. We're going to select that same green screen piece, click loop, click OK, and I'm just going to drag it out to where it covers the whole screen and then crop it up using the shift key. Cover up our third box over here. And there we go. Then I'm going to right click on our hide 3. Go to filters and then click the plus and add a render delay. And this time I'm going to add 400 milliseconds and click close. And last but not least, I'm going to click the plus, add a hide again, call this hide 4, click OK. Go and select our green screen and click OK and loop it and click OK. Move it out so it covers the entire screen, and then hold down the shift key and crop it up to cover that last box. Then I'm going to go ahead and right click on hide 4. Go to filters, add a render delay, and this time it's going to be 500 milliseconds, and click close. So now we have our boxes set up on every single one of them. If I switch scenes and then I come back, you can see we have all of our boxes, and one at a time in a very, very cool fashion. They will each disappear off the screen. And this is such a great way to keep generally annoying menus from being on the screen the entire time. Maybe you only want them up there for a moment or two. And this is a really cool way to actually hide them and bring them back whenever you want. And as we'll see in just a moment, there they go. They all come back in sequential order. Very neat stuff. So what we're going to do is use this nested scene in another scene. So I'm going to go ahead and click the plus and create a new scene. And we'll just call this game scene and click OK. And the first thing I'm going to do is click the plus and go to scene. And we'll add that nested scene that we just created, ns-hide. You can see it automatically loads in our boxes. So that's all ready to go and already working. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add my camera in here. Since it's already an asset in this scene collection, all I have to do is click here and then add the camera. And there we go. I'll just shrink this up, put it down here. And I'm gonna click the plus and we're gonna add a game capture. And I'll just kick off my game. And while we're waiting for the game to load, I'll go ahead and put a frame around my camera. Now all the camera frames and assets that we're using here are all animated and they can be downloaded directly from Owned. I should tell you a little bit more about Owned right now. Owned is a website that offers anything a Twitch streamer could possibly want. On Owned.tv, there are thousands of overlay packs with alerts and stingers built in, as well as emotes and badges, and like I said, just about everything you could want. But what really excites me is the Owned Pro site. On Owned Pro, you download a plugin for OBS, and in OBS, you can browse and select from thousands of overlay packs that download and are set up completely right out of the gate in OBS. You can add alerts and labels and modify the text and even create custom layouts in just a few minutes. And they all have custom stingers that are set up with the profile so you don't have to do anything. You just download them and they're ready to go. In just a few minutes, you're gonna have a professional stream that looks like you spent $1 million. The best part is for just a few bucks a month, and I mean less than that crappy Netflix subscription you never use anyways, you're gonna have access to every single one. So you could change it up on every stream in just a few minutes if you really wanted to. So take a second and check out Own TV and Own Pro. Down below there are links in the description for each one. If you have the means to support the sponsors that support this channel, it goes a long way towards helping me continue to make content that helps you. So thanks. All right, so now we're back. The game is loaded and we just need to move it down so it is below our overlay and our camera, and everything is good to go. Looks absolutely fantastic, and now our labels will disappear and appear every so often, and you can use your own creativity. You can make them stay away longer, you can make them shorter, however you want to handle your labels, but this gives you an awesome way to animate all of that stuff and make it look really, really cool. Now that was easy. If you want to see how to create your own overlay with labels free, check this video out. Big thanks to Own for sponsoring this video. There are links to them and the other sponsors that support this channel down below in the description under sponsors. I couldn't possibly do this without them or you, so thanks. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Feyrer Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.